Good morning. This week's devotion is Be a Tree. Now, first off, no, this is not going to be a Lord of the Rings devotion about ants. I am referring to the psalm for this week, Psalm 1. Psalm 1 is advice on how to be happy and have a full life. It also goes on to tell what happens if you don't follow this advice. But I am going to stick with the positive this morning and only read the first half of the psalm. Listen to Psalm 1, verses 1 through 3. Happy are those who do not follow the advice of the wicked, or take the path that sinners tread, or sit in the seat of the scoffers. But their delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law they meditate day and night. They are like trees planted by streams of water, which yield their fruit in its season, and their leaves do not wither. In all they do, they prosper. Everyone wants to be happy and successful. And with all of the advice flowing around on the internet and social media, sometimes it's hard to know what to do. Who do we trust? Well, first, I suggest that you always fact check everything that you find online. But Psalm 1 gives us another way to check what we hear and see. These 3 verses give God's advice on being happy. The first thought should be obvious. Don't follow the advice of the wicked. The problem is that the wicked are often pretending to be good. Look at the Pharisees. They used the law to oppress and hurt others. There was an internet trend a few years back where your supposed friends would challenge you to hurt yourself on camera and post it to see whose pain got the most shares. More recently, there have been hate groups that try and convince people that oppressing and victimizing those who are different than you is actually the right thing to do. Hating someone because of their skin color or race or sex has become trendy. Let me tell you, that kind of thinking is wicked. You won't be happy if you give in to hate. The second piece of advice from the psalm is not to walk in the paths of sinners. To me, this sounds like standing up to peer pressure. If you know something's wrong, it doesn't matter if everyone else is doing it. Now, where these first 2 things seem pretty obvious, I think the third may be the most important and the hardest to avoid. Don't sit in the seat of the scoffers. Sarcasm, mean-spirited jokes, bullying, making fun of those you disagree with is so rampant right now. All you have to do is look at any political campaign. And it's not just the candidates slinging mud at each other. Just belonging to a different political party sets you up for ridicule and cruel jokes. And if anyone dares to stand up and say, hey, that's not really nice, then they become the target of the jokes and the scorn. Whatever happened to if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all? And when confronted, the scoffers will answer, oh, come on, it's just a joke, it's funny. But the saying, sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me, is a lie. Anyone who has been the butt of a mean joke can tell you. It's funny that a large part of the advice of the psalm can be covered by being kind. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The psalm itself suggests meditating on God's law day and night. Now, that may sound daunting, but Jesus points out that all of the law boils down into 2 things. Love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. It may not be that easy, but if we focus on this law day and night, it will make things much better. As the psalm says, it will become a delight to focus on loving God and your neighbor, and it will make us happy. But more than that, it says we will be like trees that are planted by streams of water. Following God's laws make us strong and make us bear fruit. And perhaps our good fruit can help others to find the happiness and delight that focusing on loving God and neighbor brings. So let's be trees. Have a blessed week.